Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about 4 easy steps to make your content posting stupid simple. Now, let me know if you're feeling like, oh man, I'm just crazy overwhelmed with everything that's going on. I don't feel like I can post all the time. I don't feel like I can be present or want to be on social media all the time. Do you feel like it's just easier just to not do it at all? Go ahead, put #overwhelmed in the comments if that's you, because guess what? That was me. If you can go back and look at my personal profile, I just didn't even use it. I didn't even create a Facebook account until like October of 2018 because I knew I was going to need it for my business, but I still didn't use it. And the problem was that I knew, or I just struggled with being consistent. So I'm going to actually share some simple ways to really get focused and make this process simple for you so you're not feeling overwhelmed in doing your content. So what I am going to do is we're going to do this a little bit different today. I'm going to pull up a page. I'm going to share my screen. Now, the first thing that you're going to do is to get out of your overwhelm, feeling like you have to post content about everything from A to Z in your business. No, that's going to just bog you down. So what I think is more interesting is if you will just come down to decide 3 or 4 pillars of content that you want to share. For example, things that we talk about on our page are mindset, leadership, skills and tools, and real estate and that kind of stuff, right? So just decide on what the pillars that you're going to be talking about are, because when you get clear and focused on what the content is, you're going to be seeing an abundance of content everywhere. And all you have to do is say, oh, that looks cool. Put it aside for, hey, maybe I can talk about this on a live. I just read this article. I just read this in a book. I just watched a video on this. I just got trained on this, right? So you can then start to see things that are aligned with your pillars of content. So pick 3 or 4 pillars of content. That's tip 1. Tip 2, now here's where I'm going to show my screen. This is my tracking calendar, if I can find it. Okay, I think I got it going on here. So I didn't make this up. You can go download this for free. It's out there. www.vertex42.com/calendars. I just download a calendar for the year. And that's not the important part. Great, you got a calendar. What are you going to do with it? So I just realized my screen's not even sharing yet. It's highlighted with a box, but hey, we'll get this tech thing figured out here. Now we're sharing. So what do we got here? You've got this calendar, and what you're going to do is those 3 to 4 pillars of content, you're going to actually mix them up in here. And I'll share with you something that I learned and took full advantage of and put it into practice, and it's helped me a ton to get all of this content posting. So if you look, you know, you have a motivation day. So for me, Monday motivation, right? It's after the weekend, people are getting back into it, and some people, they just feel like they're in a grind, right? And so we want to help them get out of that, help them be positive and lift out of that. So Mondays for me is, and for Jill, is motivational type content. Then, for example, we do an engagement post, like ask a question, fill in the blank, you know, just Google engagement posts. Then Wednesday is where we focus on tools and skill sets, right? How to enhance that. You know, let people get to know you. We do it behind the scenes. And then, you know, you might tell a story, do some Facebook Live. So we go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then, you know, you might have some invite posts. You might have some things that you love. I think I'm a little backwards on here. Now, what you don't want to do is, or you're going to go plan this schedule. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to do the exact same thing every week, because all the social media platforms algorithms are going to kind of get and to see that and say, oh, well, they're just kind of doing the same thing all the time. And it's going to potentially reduce your exposure. And that's not what you want, because you're going for maximum exposure here. So what I recommend you do is things like engagement and behind the scenes. Take that right there and alternate them back and forth each week. So like one week you would do an engagement on Tuesday. Yeah, this calendar is kind of funky. So I've got some work to do, but let's look at the 9th. I do an engagement on Tuesday and a behind the scenes on Thursday. Well, the next week I do the behind the scenes on Tuesday and an engagement on Thursday. And so just going back and forth, mixing it up. You know, sometimes I do an invite post, sometimes I do something that I love on Saturdays and Sundays. Just kind of mix these things up, but kind of have a somewhat understanding of how you're going to do it. So great, now you know what pieces of content to focus on. So that's step 2, understand your content calendar. All right, then you're gonna go into, I'm gonna stop this share for a minute. Then you're gonna go into a planning session, right? Because now you know what the topics are, but what's the content? What's the actual content? So for me, every Saturday morning for 3 hours, I just block out and I just power through content. So for a week to a week and a half's time in the future, and I'm actually working on the planning and the content. So I already know ahead of time what I'm going to do, so that when it comes time to deliver it, that process becomes stupid simple, because I don't have to think anymore about what it is. I have separated, oh, there's my mic. I have separated the content creation process and planning process from the content delivery process. And when you can cut ties between those two things, you're going to see a lot less stress in your life in terms of creating and posting your content. All right. And so that's tip number 3, is get that planning in. Just block it out, get through it, plan all your content. I create images in Canva. And yeah, and that's going to actually bring me to step number 3, is on your, if you're doing this on your personal profile, you're just going to have to just do it, because I don't think you can schedule posts. But like for our fan page, you can actually go and schedule out content here by just coming in here, and you say, you know what, I'm going to come here to the page, and I'm going to go to publishing tools, and I'm going to go to scheduled posts. Oh, guess what? I'm not sharing again. I forgot that I took that off. So we're going to jump back in here. All right, share is back. So what you're going to do is you're going to, for example, on our page, I'm just going to give you a behind the scenes sneak peek here a little bit. But you're going to come down here, left-hand side, publishing tools, right? And then it's going to think here for a minute. Facebook's been pretty slow for me lately. And scheduled posts. Now, this right here is where you can go and see, okay, here's all the content that I'm going to schedule out. But if I want to create a post, here's the cool thing is, for Facebook and Instagram, you can actually link those two feeds. So I could say, hey, I want to post this on Facebook and Instagram. And I can write a message. I can come in here. Let's see. I can upload an image. Right? So you have the image here, you have the content. You could publish it immediately, which is not what we're going for, because we want to publish according to our content calendar that we've created. And then I'm going to come in here and schedule the post. And you can go in, you can say, hey, I want the post to go out on February 25th at 4:17 p.m. Cool. Save it. It hasn't done anything yet. Remember the last thing to come down here and schedule the post. I'm not going to do that right now because this is not a post that I want on any of our content, because it was just kind of thrown together really quick as an example. But right there, you can actually plan out, say you've got 5 posts in the week or 7 posts, or you're doing a week and a half or 2 weeks content at a time. This right here is going to allow you to just, you're going to gather up, you're going to create your content, and you're going to then go in and schedule it. Now that content a week's worth of stuff is already ready to go, and let the system do the work. Now, for me, when I started, I had to do it for this week right now, but I have actually worked to get to a point where I'm creating this content a week in advance. So like next week's content is already done. So this Saturday, when I work on it, the following week's content is going to be created. And so, you know, something comes up, something happens, I have a little bit of buffer that I can get caught back up if something, you know, affects my ability or something to actually get the content created. So give yourself some buffer, give yourself some breathing room. These are some fun tips. I'm just going to actually cancel out of this. I don't want to do that at all. So those are the tips to really making your content creation and posting process stupid simple. So let's review what they are. First, you're going to understand what your 4 pillars of content are. Second, you're going to get into a planning or your tracking calendar and plan what days are going to be what content, and come up with ideas on what the content is going to be with your planning phase. That's step 3. And step 4 is you're going to actually go out and schedule all those things and make sure that they're happening when you said they were going to happen. So let me know which is your favorite tip below. And this last thing, all this information is going to be useless unless you go put it into practice. So what I would like, can't even talk today. What I would like you guys to do is, if you liked the calendar that I had, go download that one. I don't get anything for it. It's a free calendar. They're free to print, free to download. Find a different one. If you have a different one that you like, create your own. If, you know, taking this one isn't your jam, but get a calendar. And over the next week or sometime in this next week, decide on your pillars of content and decide what days, what types of content you're going to post, and put them in the calendar for the month. So go in, make that happen so that you are ready to go in your content creation process. So just remember, download the calendar, decide your pillars of content, and then go put that into practice so that you don't have to worry about what's coming. You are now separating your decision process from your action process. So go ahead, get that done, and, you know, let us know. You can either post it here or shoot us a private message and let us know how that went for you, and maybe some things you're struggling with, or maybe you've got some other tips. We'd be happy to hear about it. So just let us know. And with that, I'm going to sign off today. Have a great day, everybody.